j'ai une macchiato cette fois. Mais comme d'habitude, j'ai une special pour la deuxième fois. Oui, j'ai pu commencer maintenant. Bonjour les potes, bienvenue encore à un petit vlog de moi, Nomad. Everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is episode 2. Et comme d'habitude pour mes amis de la France et Belgique, désolé, je vais parler en anglais encore parce que c'est mon première langue, mais j'espère que bientôt j'ai pu parler en français pour vous, mais pour aujourd'hui encore en anglais. So, wow, second video. I'm not gonna lie. If this was me like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I don't think I would have come this far. I used to rage quit so much over my videos. But you know what? For the first time ever, I'm really happy to be doing a second video in a series. So today we are going to be talking about my music stuff. Alright, first things first, my audio interface. This is the Scarlett Solo interface by Focusrite. So the nice thing about this is that I have an XLR input for my microphone, I have another input for my guitar and bass. Each preamp has its own gain control. We also have phantom power available on this unit, and also additional activation switches for, turning on the instruments themselves. Input for my headphones in case I want to do headphone monitoring, and then of course a master volume control. Now, why did I go with this one rather than a preamp that has maybe 12 IOs? Well, I don't really use a lot of instruments at one time, so having something that's small, fits on my desk behind me, and actually serves the purpose that I needed to without breaking the bank, I can't complain. Okay, next thing that I want to show you is my DAW controller, my mixing console here at home. This is the Studio Logic SL mix phase. Nice thing about this is that it's not just perfectly sized to fit on my desk, but it also has 8 faders, so that way I can mix up to 8 instruments at any given time. There are also dials, knobs, whatever you'd like to call them, for panning my instruments from right to left so I can get some more space and a better mix for each instrument in general. And then of course there is the Playback Controls on this device as it is configured to my DAW of choice, which for me is Avid Pro Tools. I also wanted to take some time to show you the instruments that I play. Behind me, because I can't really move it all that well, I do have a really nice Yamaha keyboard with like 5 or maybe 600 sound settings. And then this bass, I can't even fit the whole thing on screen. But this Fender jazz bass actually belongs to a friend of my older brother's. And for some reason, he just won't come pick it up from our house. I love playing this thing for fun, and I also use this in a couple of my songs that I've produced over the last year. So this is really nice. It's a Fender jazz bass. So traditional 4-string, single coil pickups. And then of course you have your volume controls in there as well. And then for the guitars themselves, well, we have an interesting situation here. So this is a mini Squire by Fender. And this thing is ridiculously old. And then we also have another Squire by Fender, fully adult size, 6-string single coil pickups. But here's the weird thing about this. It's kinda half broken. I mean, it barely works. It barely works, but it works enough for me to produce some kind of sound with it. It does the job, and would I actually like to own, proper instruments? Sure, but I've got bigger things to worry about. But I figured I would show you what it takes for me to produce the music that you hear from me if you ever listen to my music. So I think it's time for the monitoring side of things. So let me show you my headphones and my speakers. Okay, so now for the next part in my equipment that I use for producing my music. This is where it gets a little interesting. So I have 2 pairs of headphones, one by Marshall, these are my preferred headphones, then another pair by Tascam. What's really nice about these 2 pairs of headphones is that they give me different responses, so that way I can monitor the frequencies of each instrument as best as I can. This one really helps me assess the full balance of a mix, but it also has better low frequency response. So if I'm trying to listen for like bass or kicks, drums, but at the same time, knowing that I'm trying to work with monitoring for higher frequencies as well, These Tascam headphones actually do a lot better because they produce a sharper sound. They can help me figure out if I'm producing something with too much harshness, too much air, too much high frequency, so I know whether or not to cut that out. As for my actual stereo monitors, let me show you what those look like. What you're looking at here now is one of my stereo monitors for listening to things in open space. What's nice about these is that these are Mackie C3x Monitors. So if I need to listen to my mix in open space to really get a more detailed assessment of whatever I'm working on, this is where these come in handy. Sometimes I need to listen to things at a higher volume. I can't do that with my headphones because it might destroy my eardrums. But having the opportunity to listen to my mix in open space, it's made possible because of these speakers. So if you're ever looking into getting some of these for yourself, if you're an audio engineer, this isn't a terrible place to start. There are better models on the market, but this one works really well for me. This is the last thing that I wanted to show you, which is my DAW setup. So I am working with Avid Pro Tools, which is based on this purple icon right here. So I'm working on a MacBook Pro. This was a graduation present from my family for completing my master's last year. And they understood how important it was for me to stay creative and hopefully get into a more creative career full time. So using Avid Pro Tools, this is the DAW that I was trained on during my master's program. Shout out to Macquarie University. Shout out to all of the technical and instructional staff from the music production department. But what I really like about Avid is that not only do I get a mixing window and an editing window, but this is actually the industry standard for digital audio workstations, or DAWs. I know a lot of people out there like to use FL Studio, a lot of people like to use Logic. I'm actually going to be taking some time to learn how to use Logic later this year for budget reasons, but I'm really happy with Avid because of how well my mix plays back. I'm also used to the stock plugins and how well the workflow goes. Bussing is a lot easier on this as well, so even though this took me a long time to learn, I'm really happy with how Avid has, helped me with producing my own music. Okay, so there you have it, another video. I'm sorry for kind of cringing up over here, but I just can't bring myself to say it without cringing first. Alright, if you liked today's video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for future content, and I'll see you at the next video.